feel like it's hard to hear that song and not get hyped.
Hey, we got arms that aren't in our faces the whole time to the camera.
I like how I spent like another $1,500.
Yeah, after the video of here's how we set up our podcast room. Just kidding.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like these microphones alone, the arms, yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that like I can talk this far away and it sounds like I'm talking this close together or to the microphone.
Yeah, we'll talk about what it is in a sec, but I forgot to tweet out that it's time to.
Whoa! Oh, you forgot. Oops.
What's our channel called again? JayzTwoCents? Oh my God, I can't even type.
You can do JayzTwoCents.com/YouTube.
Oh wait, you're right. We are on YouTube, aren't we?
Just JayzTwoCents.com/JayzTwoCents.
Am I spelling this right?
I don't know.
YouTube.
Yeah,
yes,
you haven't even
it populated the logo. Right?
Nice.
Okay,
you haven't
we're
even
good.
opened the whiskey yet.
No, I don't think I'm going to today. Whoa, look at all that chat. Okay, what's up, everyone? It's Friday, which means it's RTFM showtime. I have an outline today. I mean, outline.
Everyone says that it's peaking.
Yeah.
All of us are peaking, apparently, which makes no sense because the levels are not here.
Yeah.
Are they there?
No, they're not. Let's try that. How
Uh-huh.
about that?
There you go.
I don't know. I didn't change anything.
Well, besides all of the mics.
Sorry, audio listeners.
Muffled and crackling mic. What? How? I don't. Yeah, I don't hear it.
I don't know. I'm listening to it on my phone, but
Well, I reduced the levels, but
let's see. Oh, mics are a bit hot and clipping. Okay.
yeah, we already know that.
Yeah.
But I already turned them down.
It's weird because they're acting like we can't hear our own feeds through this.
Well, I don't know. It could be an OBS thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, everyone's saying way better.
Okay.
Oh my God, sounds fine to me.
Well,
And then
people-
no, it doesn't.
No, not everyone's in the same portion of the stream. Like people might have started later, backed it up. But I reduced the levels now, so we should be good now.
Testing?
Now they're saying we're super quiet.
Phil is eating the
What does
microphone.
it
Scoot back,
mean?
bro. The whole point of this microphone is that it doesn't matter.
No, don't ignore the chat. Don't listen to them.
Okay.
We don't take advice from them on how to do our setup, even when we're messing it up.
we can do dumb ourselves. All right.
So 9800 X3D.
No, it should be better now. All I did was I reduced the gain on
The master gain
OBS.
in OBS.
It's possible. See, these are different mics from when we had the SM7B. Like, we're not peaking here. We're not peaking here. Nothing is in the red. Sounds more like compressed. Yeah, okay, whatever. I think we're going to have to go forward at this point now. But so reduced levels didn't help. I don't know. They look fine to me. I mean, I could always stop it and restart it if I really need to. We'll just call that one a test run.
Yeah.
But someone's saying less distortion now. I wonder if it's honestly the FS7 pre-gains too much now because of these being 48 volt.
Did you want me to turn
Oh
the
yeah,
gain
look at
down
the FS7. It's peaking. Boop boop. Yeah, go. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do, guys. No, we're not, because if I stop the stream, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah, we'll just leave it going. This will be live tech support here. Yeah, it's peaking the FS7 entirely. It should be at 5 right now, right? Like it's like 5. We're doing it live.
I hate how.
Because we even did a test recording and it didn't sound bad.
Yeah.
Did you do a test recording via the podcaster or the?
Yeah, via OBS.
Okay.
Test. Try 3. Yeah. There we go.
Okay,
What is it? Was it showing the meters on the camera? Blap 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 blap. No, it was going all the way to the right. Like it was hitting the farthest right of the meter. Okay, everyone's saying it sounds good now. Okay.
But I thought we're not listening to them.
No. Well,
yeah, we have to figure out some of them to listen to.
Let me find the control because I have a.
Okay.
Oh.
I think
We're
it.
at
Odessa
3
says
now.
it's super low now.
Well, I just. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say to people. I mean, now everyone's saying it's too quiet.
Great.
You can't make this up.
No, they're probably still before you moved the OBS dial back.
Oh yeah, because I did max the OBS, but I'm only hitting minus 20, minus 25. Look at that. Look at the meters.
Huh?
Like I'm hitting like minus 25 to minus 20. Talking normal.
That's where it was before, but it was probably peaking on the
Yeah.
camera side, and then you're a little quiet. Volume up. It's fine. It's good now. Volume up. It's good now. Yes, it's really quiet. Yes, too quiet. Leave it. It's good.
Do you know how many people do you think adjusted their speakers, but not after we adjusted? Like
Our
they turned
audio.
they turned their speakers down because we were too loud. Now they haven't turned them back up. This is a terrible show already. See what happens when I outline?
Well, we got the intro started up.
Okay, people are yelling now, so I'm gonna take the yelling people.
I want to actually do an advanced audio property. I feel like I want to add just like 4 dB to this.
Testing.
Test.
Sure.
That's 1.5. Let's add 2 right there. How's that? There we go.
So he's young science.
Yeah, we should be good now.
It's quiet.
Look, we're
I
going
just
into the yellow
Pooped
slightly now.
myself. It's a little low.
You know what? Welcome to the very first intro we did with this week's
without
show.
without
We've
a single hint of audio production issues.
We've
before.
never
Yeah.
had an error. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're perfect.
Okay, so many people.
I keep touching it.
No, this actually doesn't change anything because of Aura. That
Oh, yeah.
that does nothing. So, okay, these mics are the Lewitt Ray mics. If you guys haven't heard of these, they didn't sponsor this or anything. I think it was like $350 a mic. And then these are the Elgato low profile arms because people were like, we're tired of seeing the spider legs everywhere, right?
Hey, bald guy, restart the show.
So the cool thing about these mics right here is that they have a laser sensor in them. So basically they're calling it like autofocus for your voice. So for instance, if I were to, here, I'm gonna turn the mic down a little bit so it doesn't peak. I'm gonna turn off Aura. Yeah, it's called Aura. Okay, so now you can hear the levels are getting quieter and quieter and quieter as I go farther and farther away, right? Which is what mics would typically do. And hold on. So then if I get real close, it's like, it sounds terrible, right? So if I turn, yeah, it was.
For sure.
So if I turn on Aura now, check this out. I'm eating the mic. You can hear my freaking hair scratching on it. But watch as I back away. The audio levels continue to adjust themselves to try and stay pretty like it's the stupidest demo I've ever done. But yeah, so I wanted to try them out. They're a little less in your face as the SM7Bs. They're a little brighter. The SM7Bs definitely have that more broadcasty sound, but I think this is better for our situation. So for instance, when Mr. Whisper over here is talking very quietly.
Guys.
Because watch, I can be like, I can whisper and you can hear everything I'm saying. Or I can yell at you. Well, I guess I did peak, but whatever. You suck, Lewitt.
Oh.
I guess it has its limitations, but whatever.
Does this mean I have to pull out the SM7Bs again next time?
No.
Okay.
No, we're keeping these. In fact, I want to get one for my game room at home because I like to lean back in my chair, and I can't do that with an SM7B.
Yeah, it's really sensitive to how far away you are from the mic.
Yeah. Okay. Anything interesting happened this week that you want to talk about before we go into the documentation? Either of you?
We played Super.
I mean, yes, but no, not on here.
I think
that's all
off this
saying.
forum.
Yes.
There are some things you keep offline.
Yeah, very, very offline. Like air gapped Faraday cage.
Air gap? Insulation.
Not a single Wi-Fi router nearby.
Like the Mission Impossible sunglasses that self-destruct after you send a message.
I like how they're always like, it's like the softest little self-destruct ever.
Is it? Well, didn't they do a gag in like one of the latest ones where he walks away, but it doesn't go, and he's like, okay, cool. It's just like, wait a
It's a
second,
super
didn't
top
work.
secret message
Yeah,
that's
I
just
know.
laying on the a bus seat.
It doesn't destruct.
Oh man.
Okay, topic number 1, of course, we're going to talk about the 9800X 3D launch and how that went.
It was sick until it wasn't available.
Are you
anywhere
surprised
ever.
that it sold out everywhere except resellers?
I think we were talking about this offline, but I think scalpers now know.
Mm-hmm. It's on the
They
radar.
know to watch. They know to watch the tech industry and what everyone's saying about it, even if they don't know what the product does. They know to scalp the product.
It's on the radar forever.
It sucks.
Yeah, because that's all it takes. Like, it doesn't matter if you're scalping shoes or computer parts.
Yeah, you just need somebody to know what's hype.
Mhm.
And then there was a lot of hype around the 9800 X3D.
I mean, it does really good, but here's the thing. It's $30 more than the 40 or 7800 X3D launched at, which at that point you're like, okay, $30 more, that's fine, as long as it can remain. The only person that were going to get it for that price initially are the first people buying them. Here's the problem. So I have some price notes on here. So I went shopping today to see, and yesterday during the launch day, to see 9800 X3D at Micro Center. They had tons of them. Of course, they're all sold out. Now, I had checked around noon, which is 2 hours after opening, and they still had 25 plus that were showing, including bundles and all that crap. I think by 3 p.m. when I looked again, they were gone.
Ooh.
$479. It was for MSRP.
Everyone took their lunch break to go buy them,
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh, geez.
So they did have it at MSRP $479. Micro Center is not one of those places that will try and scalp prices like that. GPUs, they did a little bit, like a tiny little adjustment, but not like other places were, right? Amazon has 8 resellers right now. Because I mean, so I never saw it go for sale direct from Amazon Prime. Personally, I was looking. I never saw it show up.
It was just all resellers.
Yeah, it was always like Amazon Marketplace. So I never saw Amazon itself fulfill any orders for that, which I thought was weird because Amazon is usually part of like the launch stuff. I know they get their allocations early and stuff. Anyway, there's 8 resellers right now currently ranging with the cheapest at $769 and the most expensive at $999.
Ouch.
Yes, not worth it at that price. That CPU is not worth that price. Best Buy, not listed at all. Best Buy does not have a listing for 9800 X3D.
So they didn't even get any.
No. Newegg sold out, but was for $479. So Newegg kept it at MSRP. eBay prices are ranging from $619 to $999. The only ones that are under $619 are currently at bids. The others are buy it nows or make best offers.
And they'll probably go over that with the bids and stuff, yeah.
Facebook Marketplace pretty much has the same pricing as eBay. They're usually the same people. Ranging mostly in the 600s, some in the 7s and 8s. I didn't see any 900s plus on eBay, at least at the time that I looked. But yeah.
You mean Facebook?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Facebook. But yeah, obviously.
Because people can more directly comment there and call them out.
Yeah.
Like eBay's so much more removed from like the interaction between the buyer and the seller. But
yeah, so
somebody can, definitely repost their Facebook post and be like, look at how stupid this person is.
now alternatively, the 7800 X3D, I'm starting to see prices below $400 again.
Nice.
Now on Amazon, it's still $476. I didn't check all the retailers like I was doing with 9800, but the only way 7800 X3D will drop in price and stay there is if 9800 X3D can slide into that 475-ish price point and stay there, which will be a while until that happens.
Yeah.
So I still think we're going to see 7800 X3D prices bobbing up and down like a buoy. Like right now, I'm seeing them for like 380, 389, a couple 399s, which I'm like, okay, that's already down because it was 470 on average, and that's where it is on Amazon. But so that starts to make that CPU definitely seem compelling. But again, we already know unless the price came down, the 7800 X3D is a terrible value. Performance to cost when the 900 X3D is available from a handful of retailers at MSRP when available. So the question is, how long is it going to take AMD to really restock these? And I'm wondering if there was maybe an initial stock limitation, which is why Best Buy didn't get any. I didn't see Amazon Fulfillment get any. I'm wondering what their true available day one numbers were.
Yeah. Especially, I wonder if they pushed the launch closer.
You mean pull?
Yeah, or pulled it closer. So then they were kind of like, hey, we'll launch it earlier, but we'll have obviously less chips to allocate.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling they probably were working on this CPU alongside 9000 series launch. Like, I think they had that team working on that because according to Steve's video, they were working on this design while 7000 series X3D CPUs were still rolling out. Like the 7600 X3D CPU, which is a Micro Center exclusive because of low quantity. I mean, they already had 9800 X3D obviously designed by this because they had learned so much. Yeah,
and they were saying that they had wanted to flip the orientation this entire time. It was just like they were waiting for something about the tech that they needed to do so.
Someone's saying there is an Amazon listing showing, but it's showing not available till after January.
Oh wow,
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, normally I can find if there's an official Amazon listing and it's just out of stock, you can usually still find it. I personally didn't see it, but then again, I didn't. It's still not readily available right? This reminds me of like when iPhones launch. It's like if you don't get in right away, then your launch date or your receive date starts to go farther and farther and farther away. But
which
yeah.
ironically this year was not the case because everyone was just so burnt out about the iPhone 16.
Yeah, and
Like case in point is that I walked into a store and then picked this up, which was insane to me because
that's a 16.
Yeah, 16 Pro. But it's insane to me because normally.
So your phone's newer than mine now?
Yeah, I
I want to walk into a store now and buy.
You can, yeah.
FOMO.
No, that's how not under demand they are this time around. And I was just like, wow, that I mean, yeah, that's awesome because I got mine. But also, wow, that means that no one cared because, like, usually, like you said, it's like if you don't get your pre-order in and you don't get it like launch week, you're not getting it till Christmas or worse. Like you're not getting it till like next year, basically.
Well, because they typically launch in like September timeframe.
Yeah.
And I know I never buy them usually on day one. Like if I go to upgrade my phone or something, I usually need a reason to upgrade it, like it's broken or not holding in charge or whatever.
Yeah, my
right?
reason was my 14 started acting weird with like it's like. I don't know if the Wi-Fi and the 5G chip are the same chip, but they were both starting to act all like weird and disconnecting randomly. So I was like, that's kind of the whole point of the phone.
Yeah,
is comms. So,
yeah.
Well, like, okay, well,
I need you to phone.
Yeah,
but in the past, if I bought a phone and I waited like 2 or 3 days after the launch to order, like if it launched in September, I would see like a November,
late November, early December,
and I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? And not to mention, I don't get any upgrades or anything. So to pay full price for the phone, it's just like, do I really need the new camera that bad?
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is Brian was showing me his video low light capabilities of it. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. The Max especially because it has the different sensors.
Well, part of the reason I picked this generation upgrade from the 14, which I didn't actually upgrade to. That was just like remember that thing that I swapped that phone, my old 12 with my friend's 14?
Oh, yeah.
Because they needed a phone.
They needed the phone with the actual physical SIM
card, to send to family in the Philippines. So then,
that's the thing. Not a lot of places, especially like South Asia and stuff, aren't using eSIM yet.
Yeah. So technically for me, this is like 4 generations that I skipped before I actually bought an upgrade. But no, they were able to finally put the 5X zoom lens with the prism in the smaller Pro.
Oh, so yours has the 5X.
Yeah,
oh,
so
cool.
this is the first time they've done that, and I was like, cool, because I was like, tell me what the big ass iPad in my pocket every time, but
I fat finger it enough on the big phone. I can't imagine.
We always joke that like you holding the Max looks like
you
me
holding the regular
Pro.
phone.
Yeah, just the regular
like,
size.
this phone does not feel big to me anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but let me hold yours.
this is gonna feel like an iPhone.
No,
SE.
this is a pretty naked type of case, but it's like,
is it really? It's not that small.
That's the normal size. I don't know what size Nick has a normal size too.
I have a 12 Pro.
Yeah.
Sorry, grown-ups are talking. No,
wow. But you have a case on it, so it makes it a little thicker. Mine's like literally the smallest possible.
Yeah, and I also have like the thinnest possible case I can get too. Like this carbon fiber.
Apple Care Plus is my case.
Cool. Like I opened it up and dog hair came out.
Oh, one random pro tip is I found out that because I used to have the Protection 360 through T-Mobile, which was they wanted like $20 a month or something like that.
Wow.
Apple Care Plus with theft and loss protection is like $13 a month now.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's like
I think it's cool that you can even do it by the month. Like,
I think it's cool that they're doing theft and loss now because they used to not do that.
Oh, they've been doing theft and loss for a while. Because
Yeah.
I've had it on like my last 3 or 4 phones.
That was the only reason I was going through T-Mobile because T-Mobile had the that theft and loss protection.
You have to do a police report though to file the claim.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
For lost?
We did. Well, we did one
for theft or loss.
Yeah.
for Apple.
Yeah.
Oh, we did one with Assurant through T-Mobile because my friend's phone got smacked out of his hands at a rave, and then it was just it flew through the air and it was gone forever.
Well, I mean,
he was just like,
I get
lost.
like I don't know. I guess I don't know why they really bother with that unless you just wanted to have like an iPod Touch at that point because they'll just forever mark the SIM as stolen.
Yeah.
Because it's the phone signature or not. It is not the eSIM, but the phone's ID. I can't remember what they call it. The IMEI, whatever.
Yeah, IMEI.
So that'll be permanently locked forever if somebody tries to activate it.
It's weird. Like I still don't get why phone theft is like a thing because it seems so useless as a device after it gets all locked down and stuff. But apparently the phone shops still have a use for them.
But
like they still want the components and stuff. I guess.
Would that still cover like iPads too then? Because
no, this is specifically for
just the phone.
Yeah, just well, for whatever device it is. But I don't know if they have theft and loss for iPads. But
Gotcha.
I know that they do on the Ultra Watch. So I'd be surprised if they didn't for the iPad.
Somebody just steals your watch and then it's like, oh man.
Well, I know because I know my mom did it once for her second iPad because when she was traveling for work, it got stolen.
Oh wow.
So
I guess that makes sense.
yeah.
Dude, what if they do
Or you could do like my
laptops?
kids where they just twice, my oldest, when she was like barely turning, like, I don't know, she's like 11, 12. Twice we were on family vacation and leaves the phone on the plane in a layover. Twice. 2 separate times. The second time I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm just like, that's it. You're never going to have a phone again. Of course she has a phone. But especially now that she's 15 and almost 16 is like, I need a way to contact you. But I was
you got to do
twice.
one of those, like the chain wallets from back in the day.
I learned my lesson when I left my iPod on the bus on the way to school in LA. And then, Mom, can I get another one? No. Well, that's a lesson. That sucks.
Now,
turns out if you leave stuff on a bus, you don't get access to it anymore forever.
Now, to be fair, both of those phones that she lost were old hand-me-downs that my wife and I had upgraded from.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a brand new phone or anything. But both those times I'd go in and report it stolen, like in our Apple plan, like our family plan.
And iCloud just disables it. And then
and it always had a passcode, so it's like completely useless to someone.
Yeah, it's just a brick.
It never got turned in at all. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I wonder what how deep the market goes for that sort of stuff.
Did I ever tell you about the time?
Can they get rid of those locks in like wherever the phone goes after it gets chopped up?
Did I ever tell you about the time I lost my phone in a Starbucks? And ironic, right? At a Starbucks, because I am a white girl, to be honest. But the fact that I couldn't tell if I lost it in the car or at home or whatever, and I looked at Find My, and the phone was like 10 miles away, like all the way in San Bernardino. Did I ever tell you about the fact that I got the phone back and how I got it back?
Did you go to them?
No. So here's the thing: I used my wife's phone to use Find My.
Yeah.
But it might have been my iPad. I can't remember. Anyway, I saw that it was like very triangulated position.
Yeah.
At a house. And I was like, that's a solid location.
Yeah, it's still on.
Yes.
they haven't turned it off yet. It's like...
Well, you can still get location with Find My now, even if it's off.
Yeah, it sends its last location when you turn it off.
Yeah. So anyway, I did the whole, like, go in, say that it's stolen, put a message on the screen. And I put a message on the screen. I said, this phone is stolen, located at, put their address. I said, police have been notified. Return the phone to the blank Starbucks that I was at.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the police will show up.
Yeah.
I literally watched it drive back.
That's funny.
And then I also put my phone number on there. I said, call me to let me know when it's there. It was like a big old message.
Yeah.
And they literally texted me and said, your phone's back.
That's funny.
And then, of course, they like text me later. They're like, we just found it. We were going to return it later. I'm like, yeah, that's why you drove like 10 miles away, because you were going to return it later. But it actually worked, because I always have a passcode, and I have it set to like auto lock and all that stuff. So I was like, the phone was useless to them.
Yep.
But it wasn't useless to me. So I was like, give me back my phone. But it actually worked.
The big scam nowadays is like they'll steal, somebody will, like, your phone will get lost or stolen or whatever, and then ends up in China, and then they start texting you, hey, like, I just bought, fake story, like, I just bought this phone, blah blah blah, but it says it's iCloud locked to you. Can you disable it so that like my blah 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 sob story can use it? And like, it's unfortunate, but yeah, like a lot of the boomers will just fall for that and be like, okay, fine. Well, they were so nice about it. You know what I mean? And then it's like,
they probably needed it more than I did.
Yeah, it's like, no, under any circumstances, just block the number. Do not ever remove it. Do not ever like disable Find My iPhone or whatever, or find my device on Android or whatever. It's just like, you want that thing to be as bricked as possible for them, because then it's just, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just helping them.
Could be like that guy that sold his Tesla and ended up in Ukraine. You heard about that? That Tesla that was wrecked. You heard about that? I thought we talked about that before the show went off on hiatus again, but there was a guy with like a Model 3 or whatever that was like wrecked. And then insurance buyback or whatever. And then later it started pinging him back from freaking Ukraine.
How?
Yeah, and the thing was, he could even, I think it was because he saw his Spotify playlist was playing. Like that's one of the ways he knew too. You remember that?
No.
Like his Spotify,
That's funny.
So it's crazy.
Wow.
People can find the article and link in the chat if they want to, but yeah, I was like, that's nuts. I was like, what is the process between when an insurance buyback happens? I know they go to auctions for like just to buy the car, right? Someone could buy the car for parts, or whatever.
Yeah.
That thing was bought, repaired, sold overseas, and was literally like on the front lines in Ukraine.
That's funny.
It is the weirdest story, but people can
Was the whole
confirm it in
car,
chat.
or was it just like the ECU maybe, or like the
I don't-
chassis computer or something that whatever computer was responsible for the pinging?
Don't know. It was just
That's crazy.
something from that car was reporting back from the Ukraine. It's actually pretty crazy. Moving on though, talking about X3D stuff, we have our first little bits of rumors for the 9950 X3D popping in.
The big boy.
I'm gonna go ahead and give a big womp womp. I don't have womp womp. Remember, I accidentally did the outro. I have to fix that.
You
So
get
the fact
one lone cricket.
it honestly does not look like they're going to be doing dual 3D Vcache CCDs.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately. So this does come to us from WCCF Tech. So you need to take with the largest, saltiest grain of salt you've ever seen in your life, because WCCF Tech.
Get like a salt lick from like some cows.
Yeah.
Is there like a low sodium version?
Nope. That's just called F Tech.
I can feel my blood pressure going up, right?
Yeah.
WCCF Tech is known to be very sensational. So anyway, so I guess it showed up in a particular benchmark called Factoria, which I've never heard of. I've never
I've
heard
heard of Factorio,
Yeah.
like the game, but not its sister, apparently.
I don't know. That's what the article said. Maybe I typoed it. I don't know. But apparently it's showing 64% faster than the 7950 X3D in the same benchmark. So that's kind of crazy if you think about it. Because if that's the case, that all that shows is one, IPC and process improvements from Zen 4 to Zen 5, and the uplift in clock speeds on the second CCD.
Yeah.
Because I have a 7950 X3D here at work. That's my workstation. And whenever I'll do like Cinebench or whatever, screwing around, it's very frustrating to see one CCD go to 5051 and the other one go to 4748.
Oh, right. Now that it's flip chip, then
It should be able to go 5.2 all-core, just like the 9800 X3D.
yeah, because the 9800 when we were messing with PBO, just like you were saying, it just feels like a normal 9000 series processor.
It does.
Just
It
fast
doesn't boost.
AF.
It doesn't boost as high
Yeah.
because the non 3D Vcache stuff still boosts higher, like the 9900, 9950.
Yeah, it's not wearing a backpack of cash.
Right. But that means there's obviously a pretty big uplift there.
So the CCDs, despite being asynchronous or not asynchronous, heterogeneous, like one of them having Vcache and one of them
Right.
not, at least they can both behave like a lot more similar nowadays or this time around than
Right.
the other one.
The downside is it's still going to be subjective to having to be core parked and all that stuff during games, right?
Yeah.
That's the downside of it. I wish the schedulers were smart enough to, I mean, I guess that's what the core parking is, but to literally be able to, without having to have a separate config in Windows and all that, be able to just automatically detect a game is happening and disable the other CCD entirely. Not just park it, but fully disable it. Because
Like old school game mode, basically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
make
because
it really zen.
that's the major difference between the 9800 X3D and a 9950 X3D. Is the 9950 X3D is just basically a 9800 X3D with another like CPU on there.
Yeah.
That's with it's like a 9800X non 3D.
yeah.
You know, I think we'll get there eventually. But the biggest complaints people still have with the multi CCD X3D CPUs is Windows behavior not behaving properly or core parking is not working right. The amount of people that reached out to me thanking me when I did that core parking video most recently showing, hey, if you're not core parking, it's probably because this service isn't running. Here's how to force it to run. The amount of people that were like, I've been dealing with this for a year,
Yeah.
not parking cores properly and such. So that's the
And the only
nuance.
reason we dug that deep into it was because it was giving us a headache during testing.
Because we had to.
Yeah, we were like, what is happening? What is wrong with like this?
Well, especially since we dealt with a fresh Windows install and it still did it.
Yeah. And
And-
it's so unfortunate, but it's like it's such a sensitive stack of stuff that has to be updated correctly and like installed and like done at install time when you're installing Windows and that sort of stuff instead of like oh, I can't just hit update all in store and then suddenly everything's perfect.
Someone in chat's asking for a link to that video. Basically, if you go to my channel and just search core parking fixed once and for all, you'll find it. So the thing is, like, Steve had done a video where they talk about the command line that you run
Mhm.
that is supposed to force the core parking stuff. And we did that, but it worked backwards.
Yeah.
Where it parked it parked the 3D Vcache during games and put
Yeah.
everything on the non 3D Vcache core, which is not the way that was supposed to work. So I feel like my method's a bit more foolproof and doesn't require command lines, and then you have to let the system sit there idle, don't touch the mouse for like 20 minutes. Like, you don't have to go through all that crap.
I think I also read during it was one of the reviewer guides for the 9800 X3D or something. They were talking about or it was talking about something with having to do with 24H2 and the fact that like this time around, whenever AMD's chipset driver detects a different CPU, it redoes that command line check of like,
That would
hey,
be nice.
does the CPU require core parking? Yes or no? And then it will supposedly
nice.
do the thing.
Because one of the fastest
But,
way to mess yourself up in our instance, most people are not changing out their CPUs a whole bunch several times a year.
Yeah.
But then if we were
But
to...
some of us do F1 2024.
Oh, jeez. Don't get me started on the DRM
So,
stuff.
so Denuvo, by the way, only allows you like 5 hardware changes per day. So
For
we
a
literally
24-hour
have
period.
Yeah, it's per 24-hour period. So me and Jay are all like, when we're testing, we're like, hey, did you burn an F1 instance already? Because I need to test this CPU or whatever. Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, go for it. Whatever. Blah blah. blah. That'll
Yeah.
be the 5th one today, and then we'll
Well,
just wait. Till
that's one of the
tomorrow.
reasons why we also stopped testing Battlefield.
Yeah,
Because Battlefield would do that to us
I
too.
think it's just technically Denuvo. It's just most of our games in our test suite no longer have Denuvo. So
Well, it's like... Well, yeah, but EA titles tend to use
because
it.
Jedi,
Jedi Survivor.
Survivor. Yeah.
Well, Jedi Survivor freaking bit me on on the airplane because apparently it thought that like the airplane Wi-Fi was like, oh, is the new network card,
Oh,
and then it was just like you've changed your hardware too many times, and I'm like, I'm literally on a handheld console, I can't change any of the hardware. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Man.
And then I couldn't play it on the plane.
It's
and I was
because
sad.
they're that terrified, thinking people are going to be like sharing their EA passwords and stuff.
I know. Meanwhile,
It's like before Netflix really started doing it.
meanwhile, on Steam, they have the family plan now.
Yeah.
yeah.
My daughter and I share games. Well, she more or less plays my games. I don't play any of hers.
Also,
but
meanwhile, in BitTorrent, all the Denuvo stuff is cracked anyway, so who cares?
I don't have friends. I have family on
Yeah.
Steam.
yeah.
Skull and Crossbones are still well alive today.
So anyway, there's no word yet or any leaks of what the TDP is going to be because we should be seeing an uplift in TDP for it. Because when I check the PPT on my 7950X3D upstairs, it says 162, which is crazy because the
It just seems
9800.
to be like AMD's upper limit regardless of CPU.
But no,
nowadays.
like 9950 is 170.
Oh,
7950X is 170.
the 8 watts.
Well,
Wow.
Well, but that's the thing. Remember, there's a difference between the TDP and PPT. So it would, even though it said 170, it would still draw like 200, right? It drew more.
Wait, it was saying 170 TDP or PPT?
TDP.
Oh, you said PPT.
No, I'm saying it shows 162 PPT
Yeah.
upstairs because the 9950 or the 7950X3D has a lower power limit overall.
Yeah.
So we should see those power limits go up as well, which then we might actually start hitting those limits with a dual CCD CPU design. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
X3D got a little closer to it got a lot closer to its PPT than 7800.
Oh,
ever
heck
did.
yeah. Yeah. 7800 X3D hit that super low frequency limit way before power
Yeah,
limit.
Jay thought like I messed up my testing because when he ran the wattage test on the 7800 X3D, he was like, dude, it's only drawing like 55 watts. And I was like, that's...
In games, it was like 55.
Yeah, I was like, apparently that's what it just does, dude.
in CPU
sleeping.
synthetics.
Yeah.
In CPU
Meanwhile,
synthetics.
9800 X3D is like, ah, 140 in synthetics.
Oh, it's like 145.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
That's kind of close to its 162 limit. So
7800 X3D also has a 162 limit, but it was showing like 84.
yeah, 80,
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, I mean, it's exciting to see that big of a jump from one generation to the next. If I could sit down with AMD right now, like the engineers and the designers, I know I don't have direct contact to them. I'm sure I could get it, but I would love to ask them, what is the root reason why you do not allow the 3D V cache to both CCDs? Do you think it's maybe they're trying to balance?
I think it's just cost and
Oh,
yields.
really? You think so?
I think it's cost and yields because just getting one of those out. I mean, they said they've been trying to do this flip design for at least the last generation, if not the last 2 generations of X3D, and they just were not able to do it until this time around. So
Wait,
it was a pretty
but
significant.
X3D launched with 7000 series. They went backwards and supported Zen 3 with it. when they did put it on 5,000. It came out in 7,000 series
Okay,
first.
so then it must have been. Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it came out with 7,000 series first, and
Yeah.
then they went backwards even farther for 5800X3D and 5700X3D
Yeah.
and 5600X3D.
Maybe it's like an NVIDIA playbook. They're saving it for next wave.
No,
I don't know. I don't think that's the
They
kind of
already
thing.
flipped it.
That's not the kind of thing you save. Like,
Yeah,
especially, I mean, look at
especially like when they knew that, you know what I mean. We're essentially putting a thermal blanket over our cores, but the cache performance uplift is worth it, despite the fact that we have to hamstring these cores with so much lower clock speeds, so much lower power like consumption and that sort of stuff. And then this time around, the 9800X3 is showing like, cool, it's basically like free to run and play and go as fast as it wants to now because they've gotten the cache underneath it and it's not in the way of the thermals anymore.
yeah, I wonder if that was something they figured out they needed to do later.
They
Like
talked about it in Steve's video. They talked about like the AMD engineer directly to Steve specifically talked about the fact that they've been trying to do this. Like this isn't just like this generation changed. Or I mean, it wasn't a change that they came up specifically for this generation. They've been toying around with the idea for a while and then
But did they try and do it before they did it the way they did on 7,000? Did they try that first and decide, no, we can't manufacture it that way yet. We'll do it with the cache on top, even though it's not ideal.
They probably looked at both options and then were just like, well, we can make the thermal blanket design now with the yields, right? Enough to sell it. And then like we'll work on getting it like put underneath the
Okay, so Chad
it.
is saying 5800X3D did come first. So then that means they did take all of 7,000 series to figure out the flip then. Because if 5800X3D was first.
Yeah, they were selling it with the normal the on top design, but then, you know, behind the scenes they were like they probably had some 7,000 series prototypes in the lab that had flipped and then like,
that took them a while then. That took them a solid 2 years.
I mean, a lot of it too is that they're not a fab, so they also got to wait for TSMC to be like, yes, we can execute this at scale now. You know,
Yeah.
instead of like, well, we made 300 of them, but then 2 of them worked. You know, because I'm assuming that's probably how bad it is when they first start with like some brand new, you know, some chip maker or designer asks them for some insane new design. They'll be like, yeah, we'll try it, but here's, you know, the yields are just gonna be the yields until, you know, we get better at making like the new processes and that sort of stuff.
You got to talk directly into your mic. You're cutting out.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of people. Some people are again are saying too low. I'm wondering if they're in the farther back in the stream.
I don't know.
You know, I guess this will catch up if you're watching the stream like behind. If you're gonna comment in a live stream, you have to be live at the moment that live is happening, or your chat does not
Well,
line
it's
up
live
with
for
what you're
them.
seeing. No, what I'm saying is the live chat
Oh yeah.
when they're not in sync with the rest of the chat or whatever. Look, we'll figure out what went wrong. We'll figure it out next show. But I thought we had it pretty good because we tested it. We did test it. We did a recording and everything. I still have it on the computer. I can even play it. So I don't know. After the show, we'll play around with
You
the
play it back and it's like, RTFM show.
No, we listened to it. It did not sound like that.
We would have known if that was the issue.
Yeah. So anyway, those 64% uplift in that particular test is pretty exciting to see. It really is. Because if you look at the uplift in performance between 7800X3D and 9800X3D, and then know you're doing that, plus you have a 9950X CCD that's full fat on there, that looks good. Because 9950X was a pretty big jump over 7950X. It was just the 9700X and 9600X that didn't look great because they were all about the efficiency, right?
Yeah.
And now that's why AMD now has the 105 watt mode in the BIOS. So anyway.
They're like, here, fine, you can have the 2% faster back at the top of this bell curve or whatever.
Because like we showed with PBO,
Yeah.
it was such an exponential increase in wattage.
Yeah, like everyone understands the shape of the graph, but they don't like understand that that's what happens at this part of the graph.
Yeah. Well, it's like
The top.
look, here comes the car talk.
Yeah.
It's if you think about the amount of horsepower you need to go from 200 miles per hour to 205 miles per hour versus going from 100 miles per hour to 105 miles per hour. Like if you look at how much more horsepower it takes up there than it does down there. Now CPUs do have their version of wind resistance. It's called stability,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like if you think about the exponential increase in power you need to go both increases are 5 miles per hour, but you need like what? It's like something like I think you need 900 horsepower or something like that to go that much faster, like 900 additional horsepower. Maybe not 200, but it's like 250 to 255. I've been watching a lot of drag racing stuff lately, so it's like seeing the math that goes into
Yeah,
like
the Bonneville
NHRA
guys
stuff.
are always that's all the calculations they're doing with.
Yeah.
Is just so much of it is dragging.
and
Dragging
that's
more
with the
power.
same and that's with the same drag design. So obviously that drag coefficient changes with speed as well. So yeah, it's crazy to think about. But yeah, it's the same thing. To get a little more clock speed out of your CPU,
Yeah.
you need a lot more power usually. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Speaking of CPUs and stuff, it's a whole very CPU heavy week.
Yeah.
There is officially, as of Tuesday of this week, there has been an official class action lawsuit filed in San Jose, California, which, if you guys aren't aware, is the closest federal court to Santa Clara, which is where Intel is headquartered in California, basically suing Intel for the Raptor Lake instabilities.
Wow,
Yeah. So
they mad.
Big mad. Big
yeah,
mad.
rightfully so. So first of all,
Yeah, I mean, you can't sell a whole freaking generation or two of processors and then all of a sudden be like, oh, by the way, they're killing themselves. And hold on, wait, we didn't realize it. And hold on.
see, the fact that you just said we didn't realize it, that's one of the things that this lawsuit's based on. So let's talk about the timeline. In July of 2024, Intel made the statement, based on extensive analysis of Intel Core 13th and 14th gen desktop processors returned to us due to instability issues, we have determined that elevated operating voltage is causing instability issues in some 13th and 14th gen desktop processors, which Thomas Hannaford, or whatever their communications officer said. Our analysis returned processors confirms that elevated operating voltage is stemming from microcode algorithm resulting in incorrect voltage requests to the processor. So we already heard that one, but we know it was more than that because it had several microcode updates. There's also vmin shift. So if you guys don't know what vmin shift is, the computer is constantly the CPU is constantly analyzing itself to determine what the minimum voltages are that are necessary for keeping things stable. Degradation happens. Your CPU right now, it being on, is degrading this very second. It's probably degrading at such a microscopic level you would never notice, but it is happening. Therefore, there are algorithms and voltage algorithms in place to constantly adjust the voltage to account for degradation. As things degrade, speed would come down, or to maintain speed, you need more voltage to maintain that. Unfortunately, due to the spiky high voltage nature of Raptor Lake, not really kept in check by both Intel's microcode and the motherboard manufacturers being extremely liberal when it comes to pushing the amount of voltage that's just available to it out of the box with 4,096 watts available power limit
And like
out of the box.
disabling safety stuff like CEP by default, which is insane.
Yes, causes that processor that's built in to basically analyze for vmin degrades first. So what's actually degraded in the CPU most of the time is not the core. It's the part that's controlling vmin shift or the vmin. So as that vmin shifts, it's becoming degraded and it's no longer stable because it's basically doing like a hard reset or a hard reboot to in its own like logic. So it starts to fail. So it's actually not the cores that are failing. It's a component inside the CPU mechanism that is failing. So they identified that. That's why we've talked about it. Intel's also kind of loosely mentioned it. If you're crashing, it's done. Like there's no fixing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's the point of no return.
Yeah. If you start getting blue screens or lockups or restarts with your Raptor Lake CPU, that's it. No amount of microcode updating, no amount of voltage tuning or whatever. You could probably really reduce the speed. At that point, then you're not getting what you paid for. That's it. It's done.
But realistically, it's like, yeah, if it's crashing, RMA it. But then,
well, one person.
Then the awkward thing is like,
one person in the article stated that because this article came to us from, I forgot to mention that. It's kind of important. Oh, the Register. They stated that they had actually no. I think it was an email we got. Yeah, it was an email we got. Somebody had a 13th gen i7, those are rarer to fail. It took them 5 months to get the replacement.
wow.
Took them 5 months.
And not only, and what I'm getting at too is that you're just going to get the same processor back.
But
And then
you
it's
are.
like-
You are.
So
But
it's like, can you trust it after
Right.
even after all
because
is said and
what
done?
you have to hope is that all of the kinks have truly been identified and fixed.
Yeah.
Now that's a trust game. I'm still running my 14900K at home the way it was when I built it prior to all this stuff, and I have not updated anything. I've not updated
Wow.
this is not an endorsement from Intel. I'm just running my own experiment at this
Yeah,
point.
you're just like, I wonder how long it'll take until it dies. Right? Yeah.
And I still have a 300 watt limit in place.
Okay, so
But-
you've pushed it
but
above the. Okay, yeah.
I have pushed the power limit. I have pushed the frequencies. I'm at 5.8 all core, but I have limited my voltages.
Hmm.
My CPU was actually a really good one to where I was able to get 5.8 with a slight undervolt.
Wow, I'm jealous.
So I don't think mine's ever going to fail at this point because of the fact that one of the things I do with my systems, because I'm a nerd, is I never just let it run out of the box. I immediately go for better cooling at the start, which starts with voltage.
Mm.
So I've never seen my CPU spike anything over like 147, 148, when stock will spike over 155.
Hmm.
Now, I guess it can also spike over 1.6 momentarily, and that's what starts to degrade the actual VMIN controller.
That's so much higher than my voltages actually.
Yeah. Well,
Under gaming load, I'm at like if I see over 1. Like high 1.2s, I get worried.
do you know what my
But I'm a 13.7, not a 14.9.
So I
it
get
could be
a-
all sorts of different stuff.
I get a 43,000 Cinebench R23 score, all core with my 14.9 with that overclock. Do I ever tell you what my voltages are for vid on all cores
When they're fully loaded.
when they're fully loaded?
What?
It's like 121.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems around stock, so that makes sense. Actually, probably
Not
a little
at
under.
5.8.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's stock at
Yeah,
5.3.
5.3, yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yeah, 5.8. Like because I'm still running the Asus Maximus board in there. It wanted to push like 1.57 volts to the cores.
It's funny how
because it has a scale.
You're like running the worst case scenario and it still hasn't popped somehow.
It hasn't. But I don't use that computer every day, all day.
True.
I'm still thinking about how people will send back that same CPU for the new one or for the same thing and expect different results, but you just have to remember there's Subaru owners out there.
But you can expect different results in this instance, though, because if theirs actually died and they've implemented all the fixes you're supposed to fix regarding Windows updates and the BIOS updates and the microcode updates, because Intel should be, there's still 13th or 14th gen CPUs for sale new on the shelf.
Mhm.
All of those, you have to hope, have been updated at the factory prior to making it to retail. Whether you trust that or not, you should still make sure whatever BIOS that's on your motherboard, because it's also how the management engine and all that gets updated, should be updated.
Yep.
Even if it shows you're on the latest BIOS, I would still run it again just to ensure
One more
the
time.
ME was updated.
Yep.
That's the only thing you can hope for. I mean, we're still talking $600 CPUs. You have to. That's your only course of action is to manually do all the fixes yourself with a brand new processor.
Like prayer should not be a step in buying a CPU, especially at this price point and performance point. And I also really do agree with the sentiment of the lawsuit, because it's the fact that like there's no mention of it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they need to have like a new and improved flavor like sticker on these all of these new CPU boxes.
I bet you there's some stepping or some code
Yeah.
that you can, but that's the thing. It's not obvious.
Yeah, and they need to because of how big this problem was. Like
Yeah.
it's literally, you know what I mean? Like if it was a car that just caught fire like randomly out of normal use, like it would be all over everything.
Let's talk about the timeline, though. The timeline I mentioned is what's most important in this lawsuit, because the timeline is what shows. And in fact, the lawsuit's actually alleging fraud. By the way, if you want to know, it's actually a fraud lawsuit stating
fraud via omission. Like they
that they
were just kind
knew
of like, yeah.
and they were not being forthcoming with it. So, for instance, I love the name of the guy that's actually suing them. It's Mark Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg.
Van Vanken.
Wait, we gotta do this.
Mark Van Valkenburg.
Versus Intel. Anyway, he's based in New York.
Did you serve the paper while doing splits between two semi-trucks?
Like that would, yeah.
So anyway, he's based in New York. So is a law firm that's representing him. Obviously, the suit is in California because you have to sue someone on their home turf.
Yeah.
So that's why it's in San Jose Federal Court, which is closest to Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita. So the timeline says that Intel's they continued manufacturing and selling Raptor Lake even though they were made aware, and I know we were talking about the voltage problems being too high with motherboards. We hadn't really correlated that it was causing failures. I was saying this is going to cause failures. Apparently it did.
Yeah.
Back in December of 22.
Because that was kind of like what the motherboard manufacturers were arguing back to us, was that like
They were saying Intel's telling us it's fine.
yeah, and they were and that like us saying, oh, this could cause failures could also, I mean, it's technically still speculation.
One
by
brand
us.
told me I was legit fear-mongering.
Yeah.
That was Asus. I'm just going to put it out there. Asus told me I was fear-mongering. So,
They were the ones that got the most backlash.
I don't think that was a secret because it was the Asus boards I kept showing were the most aggressive with
Yeah.
what I felt was the voltage curves, right? So there's a frequency voltage curve. It's called the VF curve, or voltage frequency curve, and that basically says at certain frequencies apply this much voltage. It's kind of like how much fuel do you need to go a certain RPM in your car, right? So the car analogies are always going to happen. I'm sorry, but so anyway. That it was very aggressive, but the fact that out of the box all the settings were just completely unlimited, that was what my crusade was against. It was against motherboard manufacturers doing that.
Mhm.
I was right. Okay, I was right. What I didn't know was happening is that Intel was also not having any safeguards in place to keep the CPU from going too high, which is exactly what we're seeing now with DLVR in 285K.
Yeah, that's why it's so strict and locked down now.
Because I can tell the frequency to almost do anything I want.
you mean, and voltage too.
Well, I can tell the voltage to do whatever I want, but it won't do it.
Yeah.
So it's much more difficult to overclock that CPU to anything exciting or enthusiast because of the fact that the limiters are there. So it's doing its job.
Yeah. Intel swung the pendulum hard to the other side this time around because they were like, okay, we are never having this happen again.
Someone said, did Nick fall asleep? Unfortunately, these are not this isn't your wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is out of my areas of expertise, I should say. But also, you guys should stop spamming the super chat because just be normals.
If we aren't normal, how can we expect our audience to be normal when we're not normal, sir?
Just be normal.
just
Anyway,
Think of that meme. That's just like, why can't you just be normal?
Yeah, the kid screaming in the back.
Yeah.
okay. Let me tell you guys why you should not be excited for this lawsuit. I think this issue probably could have had potential to not bankrupt Intel, but to truly hurt their bottom line, and I think it has, to be honest. I think
there's the joke that
there's
hey, if you bought $1,000 in Intel in 1999, you'd have $1,000.
Still $1,000, yeah.
Because they went all the way back to their starting price.
Let me tell you about another class action lawsuit against another mega brand, and the results that came from that, where I actually saw money because I was part of that class action.
Mm-hmm.
My family is very much a Disney family. Okay. Yeah, I swear to God, if you yell those three letters, I'm going to ban you. Anyway, you know what those three letters are, DEI, right?
Oh.
Because politics aside, my kids like to go to Disneyland, ride the rides, see the princesses and all that crap. We have annual passes. Now, during COVID, Disneyland and Disney World, but Disney World only for like a few months, Disneyland still has it in place where you cannot go to the park without a park reservation. So you have to have a ticket and a reservation. Now, I've been annual pass holder since I was a kid. That's how long I've had our pass, right? My wife and I she's had hers since we got married. My kids have had theirs since they were old enough to have a ticket, which is the age of 3. Usually it was like, we have annual passes. We can just, as long as we don't have a blackout date, which is certain days of the year you can't go because of holidays or whatever. We always had the high tier pass. We just show up any day we wanted. It could be like Saturday at like 6 p.m. We're like, hey, you guys want to go to Disneyland for a few hours, get dinner, ride some rides, watch a parade and go home? Yeah, let's go. We can't do that anymore because annual pass holders have to also have a reservation. The problem is if you don't get reservations like days or weeks ahead of time, sometimes, especially now during like the holidays, you cannot go. So essentially, it is a blackout in a sense. So you have to have a separate way into the park, which is the reservations.
So it almost just seems like you're back to being normal ticket buyers, except for the fact that you don't have to buy a ticket.
So it's even grosser than that. Are you ready for this? So there is a separate reservation calendar. Bless you.
Dang it. It went away. No.
I hate that. Edged.
I know.
Edged.
Yeah. I have Microsoft Edge.
So if
sorry.
I hate you feel it up between your eyes.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
audio
it's
listeners,
just going slowly.
Phil literally looks like he just sucked on a lemon, but because he has a sneeze and he can't. Okay, so
I just thought of the Ocean Gate sub.
oh no,
Because with the car that licks the lemon and then it's like crashed. The Ocean Gate sub that licks the lemon and it's like. I'm going to hell. Anyway, sorry. Disneyland pass.
okay, so the reservation calendar I just mentioned, right? There is a separate calendar for pass holders versus people buying a day ticket. What I mean by that is I can check my pass and look and see like, oh, like tomorrow Saturday, right? Is tomorrow available? No. If I buy a ticket, oh, look, it's available.
That's weird.
So it's not really
DLC.
Yeah.
So it's not really like attendance based. And so what the lawsuit is stating is that there was extreme unfairness.
Yeah,
right?
the product has substantially changed from what you paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they would want to have an X amount of tickets available for people that just show up, right? They don't want the whole park to be full of pass holders. Honestly, they're not going to make a lot of money that way.
Right.
I get
They
it.
still need tourists,
I mean,
yeah.
does Disney need more money though? Honestly, but digressing a little bit here.
Yeah.
The point of this lawsuit is about the fact that it was advertised as no additional blackout dates or whatever. And that's not true. The lawsuit goes through. Disney settles. I get a check in the mail for each one of our 4 family passes. And how much do you think that money back in my pocket was? For those that are wondering, a Southern California resident with the I think it was called Inspire Key or whatever, which has
whatever your tier is.
the non-blockout dates. Now they have a blockout. Now everyone has blockout dates the week between Christmas and New Year's, no matter what that's blocked out, even for the highest tier. But that was not the case at the time that this lawsuit happened. It was like $1,400 a person. So we're talking $7,500 ish for all 4 of us to have. Not 75. Yeah, almost 6,000. A little less than 6. My math sucks. Anyway, we spent a lot. Okay, how much do you think we got back?
Probably like a couple cents.
I was gonna say like $20 at most.
It was like $56
Per person or
per
total?
person.
Oh, okay. Jeez, yeah. Sounds about right.
So it's like the long about way of me saying no one should be excited for the Intel lawsuit, feeling like you're getting back anything.
Unless you're Mr. Van Valkenburg and his law firm.
His law firm.
His law money.
No. Van Valkenburg is just the plaintiff. You have to have a plaintiff.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
He's going to be getting the same money everyone else is. The law firm's the one that's making bank on this.
Yeah, like class action lawsuits are almost always like that. It's just like
because the law firm's going to take at least 1/3 or 33% of the total judgment and or settlement.
I almost feel like, and this is saying with like zero knowledge in how being a lawyer actually is, but like it almost feels like, hey, play this exhibition game and then we'll give you like a crap ton of money to do it, because it's like it's really a lawsuit that doesn't really matter, you know, in the long term. Like Intel's not going to care if it falls through or whatever, or if they settle out of court.
Yeah,
but
that's why you got your ambulance chaser lawyers, and then you've got like those lawyers that just pay attention to like I can't tell you how many people reached out, not like directly, but it's like a boilerplate email to our business email of like, help us sue Intel. Like it's
yeah.
So yeah, it's just you shouldn't be excited about the lawsuit because it's not going to do anything for you, honestly.
Yeah, if anything, the only thing you can really like hope for as a consumer is that the principle of this gets through to Intel somehow.
And here's what sucks: the money is divvied by everyone. Now, the thing about the class action lawsuit for the Disney thing is you were automatically enrolled in that class action lawsuit because Disney has a list.
Yeah,
they have a list of their pass holders, right? So I didn't have to really apply for that one. I just was getting the update notifications via email and snail mail about via.
Ooh, look what I found, guys.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's where I put my $1 million. Hold on.
Wait, no, this says from Intel. Okay, so next topic, guys, air fryers.
So, we are talking about air fryers next.
I know.
Hold up, but if you have Disney Plus, can you not sue them?
Well, that's a whole different discussion. Yeah, no. If you sign up for Disney Plus, you have basically relieved Disney from any liability for injury in their amusement parks.
Mickey Mouse can come and stab you in their amusement park.
Look, the most
accurate.
the most accurate thing that's ever been portrayed about Disney is the Family Guy episode about Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
You don't mess with the mouse.
Yeah.
He's literally like a mafia don, like literally beating the money out of people.
Remember last time last time I was at Disneyland, like one of our friends had met, like we were kind of talking a little bit too loudly apparently about which Disneyland cast member was controlling the droid that all the kids were giggling at.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then our tour guide gets pulled away.
Yeah.
Like literally like
That happened
some mafia,
quick, too.
Dude, it was like some mafia stuff. Like our tour guide literally just gets yanked
Yeah,
away.
AJ was the one who did that. AJ was like, "Hey, that's the guy controlling the robot." And then literally within like 30 minutes.
No, seconds. It was
quicker,
like
dude.
straight up like
It
the
was way
whole
quicker.
the whole event was like 10 minutes tops. Like,
Yeah. So
it was
so our
insane.
because I took
eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah.
I took family and friends and the company out to
It scared me,
Disneyland.
honestly.
So actually, we called it research. I was like, we have to go to Galaxy's Edge so I can get research on how to paint the models I was doing, right? So anyway, but yeah, it was like you said, within 10 minutes, our tour guide got pulled aside and like
And then
reamed.
he comes back. Yeah, he gets reamed, and then he comes back all quiet, and he's just like, "All right, so we can't talk about the droids anymore." We're like,
Yeah,
okay,
AJ.
I get what just
Leave it to
happened right
AJ to get people in trouble like that, man.
now. It was seriously like some mafia shit. It was amazing.
But what I started to say though is Disney has a list of their customers because
Yeah.
that you have it's a freaking pass, right?
yeah, you sold
how-
your soul to the
how-
so,
How do you get notified about this Intel lawsuit? You have to hope that you saw it somewhere and sign up for it within a certain amount of time. And the whole point of me bringing this up is that check was mailed to us automatically, right?
yeah,
It was divvied up. The lawyers. So if you have a class action lawsuit
yeah.
and
I'm
people
surprised it
don't
was
claim
automatic.
and
Usually,
people don't claim the money,
yeah.
the lawyers can take the money.
Yeah, because like the last one I think I was involved with had something to do. I think it was an Apple something or other. But I remember having to go to like Apple blah 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 classactionlawsuit.com and physically sign up. And that's why I'm surprised that you got your money like without having to do anything, which is
Well,
like,
because I'm
that's
pretty
awesome,
sure
but
in
yeah.
that lawsuit there was a subpoena of the list.
Yeah, but it's like Apple knows my info, obviously, right? So it's like it's surprising
But
that
in this case, we're talking about an experience versus a product. I mean, it's
Right.
still a product,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if there's different stipulations there.
or Disney just said screw it here, like we'll sign them up automatically or something. I don't know.
I mean, it's the largest company on the planet.
Yeah.
So, like they felt.
I don't know. Nvidia might have something to say about that nowadays, but
Oh, maybe, but still, like they care.
I think Nvidia surpassed whatever was number one previously.
Well, number one was the Disney Entertainment Inc. because they owned like so many media companies and the cruise lines and the
Yeah.
parks and so anyway, it was just nuts. But let's move on to how your air fryers are spying on you.
Oh, you should hit the.
Oh, wait.
Your air fryers are spying on you.
Dun dun dun.
What?
What do you mean?
Okay, so this is actually I put this article in there because I thought it fell under the duh article of the. We should have a duh article of the week. So this one basically is talking about how your smart connected stuff
Oh,
is spying on you.
Well, yeah.
So, okay,
somebody pull up the. Somebody.
how many people have ever like right now we've talked about stuff without searching it? You know your microphones are listening on your phone.
Somebody pull up that clip of what was it, Wet Show? And they were just like, "Is my smart scale sending pictures of my taint to China?"
Oh yeah, Yeah.
It's like the exact same.
it is.
Because it was like some weird scale with a camera or something, and then they were just that was like the submitted topic.
So this one comes from Info Security Magazine. It says consumer rights groups have warned the UK shoppers to research their electronic purchases carefully after finding evidence of excessive smart device surveillance from Chinese air fryers and other products.
Yep.
Air purifiers, maybe?
Well, no, the thing is, so apparently, so if you dive into the article, it talks about the fact that the air fryer wanted to know like your location. It wanted to have a microphone.
Yeah.
Like, well, first of all, why does an air fryer need a microphone?
Yeah, why does it have a microphone?
I mean,
Yeah.
even
Is
if
it
it was voice enabled, I guess.
Hey,
but
start cooking my chicken nuggets. Just
Yeah, it's like why would you still have to physically go put them in? So
is
you
it going
might
to
as well
put your
them-
nuggets in there for you
Yeah, I
too?
know.
Yeah, right?
I mean, otherwise it's going to have some limitations.
Preheat for my chicken nuggets.
But the thing is, like, so this really goes into the amount of like everything. Look, everything is spying on you right now. I know pretty much everyone here that has a smart device has gotten ads for something they've not looked up because they either heard you talking about it or one of your friends looked it up.
Like this concept is so mainstream that I've seen like TikToks where it's like a chick and it's like trying to steer my like husband's like targeted ads. It's like mental health care for men, therapy.
Well, I was having a conversation with my wife,
Yeah,
and
because I think I texted you the other day. I was like, dude, you kept talking about whatever, blah blah blah. Now I keep getting ads for
it was the Fresh Tees t-shirts.
Well, now I'm getting now more fresh teas.
Thanks.
Freshandcleanteas.com.
So no, I really wish you'd stop watching hentai because I'm getting really tired of getting those ads. So- No, seriously, my wife and I were having a conversation about
Disney
like
Pass
I
gets
want to get.
revoked because of the hentai.
I was having a conversation out loud, not looking it up via text or anything. I was talking to my wife, who was physically next to me in the room, about how I want to get a retractable awning for the backyard for like next summer
Now it's just retractable awnings all day.
on my Amazon.
In your wow.
Now here's the thing: we do have an Alexa powered house, so that means obviously the Echoes and the Dots and the shows, they're all listening all the time.
Yeah, Amazon is your Huawei in this case, for sure.
Well, Huawei on here is also on here because
No, that's what I was saying,
yeah. So
Amazon is your Huawei because they got the most mics in your house.
yeah,
Apple's mine.
Huawei wanted risky phone permissions for those setting up their ultimate smartwatch. It says the company has said that it had justified need. Huawei also said that no user data is used in marketing or advertising purposes.
But they want to know why you're running at 2 a.m.
It says it found that some trackers are active on the Huawei watch, but Huawei says that they are active only in certain regions. That's probably where regions that have laws against it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's when you adopt the idea of unless it's explicitly illegal, it's legal.
Yeah. And the worst part is like they can always kind of come back to the phrase of like, oh well, we're just collecting like stats on our users.
Yeah, big data.
Well, they're connecting stats, but why? It's because they want to target marketing.
Yep.
It's really it. I don't think anyone wants to. I mean, maybe some bored person in some data center is able to look at like Linus was saying, if you're standing on the scale naked and it's an upward camera, that is not going to be a fun angle to watch something. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's like, what?
that's like a toilet cam.
It's like the meme of like these aren't automatic toilet flushers. They're sending your dick info to the CIA, and it was like a public like urine. It's like yeah. I mean, at some point, because you have the scale of like I just trust all my devices, which no, don't do that. But then you get the super conspiracy theories of like, oh, they're looking at your taint through your smart scale. And it's like, for what?
Do you have?
No.
It's like yes. You bring up a very solid point
like,
regarding
what
this.
Info, what is that useful?
Like the spectrum at which
Yeah.
people think the data is being used is almost infinite.
Mm.
For instance, I promise no Chinese company wants to look at your taint. I promise you that.
What if
There
it's
is-
like a really high tech today?
No. There is no reason. Why do they want to know
Unless
your?
that's like somehow an attack vector to your Wi-Fi network.
Why do they want?
Which
Look, your personal.
don't get an RGB taint.
I
then-
don't feel like your personal information is that important to any of these companies. They want to know your demographic. They want to know your location
Yeah.
because they want to target market. That's what it is.
And like,
I'm not saying that's okay either,
Yeah.
but that's what it is.
I mean, I was even sus about like those, like the robot vacuums that are like, oh, it like remembers a map of your home, and it's like,
That's the point. How does it know where to vacuum?
I know, but at the same time, it's also just like, that could kind of just tell them like, it's like that's pretty useful info for like targeting ads and stuff because okay, cool, now we know how big this household is physically. Like, oh, and then we can track this with their affluence and blah blah blah. Which model of robot vacuum did they get? Did they get the 900 or the 700?
Yeah, see that
It's crazy.
I was hoping you weren't going to go the other way, like some of these conspiracy theorists do, because
they're
that
sending
makes
the
sense.
pictures to the blah blah blah.
No,
Yeah.
no, they want to steal our virginity. Like it's like, why do they need? What do you think the shape of your home matters to your safety? Do you think? Look, if you're just some Joe Schmo out there in Middle America, sitting there in your farmhouse,
Yeah.
do you really think you are a target for like home invasion via Huawei watch tracking?
Although, speaking of robot vacuums, there was that recent case of like, and this is, I think, the worst case scenario that is gonna happen with the sort of like, oh, somebody hacked the robot vacuum. Now what? all they did was they just drove around harassing the dog and then yelling racial slurs through the microphone or through the speaker of the robot vacuum.
Now there is
like racism and stuff aside, like objectively, that is so funny of an attack. Like
there has been
to me, like,
there has been hacks.
Your robot vacuum just undocking and then suddenly calling you.
There has been hacks though of like baby monitors and stuff, like
That's
web-enabled
sketchy,
ones, where people were caught like talking to the child via the microphone.
Oh, that's really
saying really bad things, and I don't mean like calling names or whatever, but like telling them like take a knife and kill your parents and like stuff. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like so that's but again that's web enabled, right? No one is coming to your house to do this. It's another web enabled product that can do that.
Yeah.
This is just the age we live in, and here's the problem.
I don't think it'll be a real issue until like we get actual like iRobot style robots in like domestic robots in the house.
So let's not do that.
A big...
But laws
I don't
will
know.
always.
I don't think we're gonna not. I think we're gonna end up with
laws will always lag behind the technology.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they get this one sort of figured out to try and make some semblance of security, safety, and privacy, everything will have evolved to the new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the conversation still taking place about the internet in terms of like legislature.
Yeah, I think a lot of the younger crowd like just never experienced the absolute wild west of the internet when like Napster first dropped. And LimeWire and all that. You know what I mean? Where it was like there were literally no laws to deal with this. Mm-hmm. And so everyone was just like, why would you ever buy like music ever again? You know what I mean? Like that whole those few years of just
whole era.
Absolute just like everyone burning mix CDs.
Well, no one buys music anyway now. They buy streaming services.
Yeah, they just pay for the streaming services.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a diehard, then you buy like a vinyl from your band or whatever.
Well, but that's more of a physical collection thing.
Yeah.
Like even my daughter's collecting vinyl.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what makes me feel old, though.
Dude, it sounds so much warmer, bro.
Let me tell you what makes me feel old is my nephew, who's 18, is he's like, yeah, I started collecting vintage stuff. I can now collect cassette tapes. And I'm like, thanks.
Dang. No, well, I realized that this year I bought an album, a CD album, and I wanted to listen to it in the car.
Nice.
But it's like,
oh
yeah, I don't have one in the car anymore.
You know, I never thought about that. I don't know if my car has a CD
The
player.
R8 has a CD player.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
right.
in the middle between the seats behind you, but it has one.
Yeah,
Oh, can we talk about German engineering for a second? You want to know where Jay's subwoofer in his R8 was mounted from the factory in
the wheel well behind the front right tire.
That's it.
It's actually outside. It's actually outside the car.
Favorite fact about that car is
So-
just like it's
So the
external
face of the sub, it's like where the kick panel would be for your right foot and the passenger. It faces behind the dash up there, but then the back part of the speaker, if you pull out the felt like wheel well liner,
You
it's
said there were,
just
like,
an
leaves? There were leaves,
yeah, there were
right?
leaves in the speaker. It's literally just the back of the speaker behind the felt outside.
Truly, it was just like a bunch of like Der Bauers were like, oh no, we ran out of space for the subwoofer. Where do we put it now? Well, there's this cavity and it has the right acoustic properties. Send it.
Yeah, it's literally just outside.
I love it so much. It's like
Oh,
my
you know what I
favorite
haven't
bit.
done that I should do though? I should like because it actually
Put a
creates
15 in there.
it create no, it's an 8
It's all
inch.
sticking out the.
It's like a
sticking out the.
It's like an
fender.
8 inch. No, it might be a 6.5 inch woofer. Anyway, I have not turned it up to see how loud it is outside the car
Oh yeah,
because the backside is facing felt. Like it's literally nothing protecting it from the elements.
Turn it into a bandpass box, and then you just have the tube facing outwards, so everyone can hear your bass.
And then there's speakers in the headrest too. In that
Oh,
car.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's part of the
I mean, space is a premium.
Bang & Olufsen.
Bang.
Bang & Olufsen.
Well, I mean, space is at a premium when you're driving an engine with 2 seats.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, but there's
is
not a
the-
space. There's not a space constraint in front of the dash.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's behind. The engine's behind you.
It has to be for the front that holds nothing. Except
No,
for,
no, it has.
Oh, it holds that Audi camping trip thingy with like the cooler that you plug into the 12 volt, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's
you
a plug
get
there.
one of those like champagne
Yeah.
coolers for the 12
I still love step 1 for replacing my battery in the R8. Step 1, remove windshield wipers. I'm not even kidding.
That makes sense.
It's
because-
the most Germanly
Because it's in the
engineered car. I
front.
love it.
It's in the front
It's
and the
so
bottom. You have to pull off the windshield wipers to get the trims off, to get the fender liners off, to get the front cover off. To get it's,
See, and that's the reason why I don't own an R8. It's not the money or anything.
no, you have the money right there.
yeah, you're right. Actually, this I don't even think this would be enough.
Oh no, it's
we,
not.
we had R8
It's like what, 40 grand?
20, 40, 50. No, it's only about 58,000. It's not a lot.
That's not even like M3 comp money.
Nah, maybe a clapped one.
I'm pre-drifted.
Here. There. There's 40 more grand.
Imagine if that's
Wait.
how raises worked.
Wait, not quite 100. There's 100 grand right
Oh wait,
there.
hold on. I gotta be Uncle Sam now. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it is actually about right.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go straight to your pocket, not to anything I need. You know.
Maybe here. Wait, no. Here, hold on. Here's for the taxpayer for your roads. There you go.
Oops.
I'll go fill in that pothole.
Oh my gosh.
I just lost the $100 like they probably do.
It just evaporates somewhere.
All right. Yeah. So I just thought that was a really duh article. Like for anyone to put out a warning like your smart device is listening to you. It's like, first of all, I guess I'm a little surprised that an air fryer has a speaker or a microphone.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't. It's one of those devices that's like, why is this online?
Do they have a comment section in there? And has anyone posted the Captain Obvious meme yet?
No, I didn't look at the comment section.
Oh,
If there's
okay.
one thing I tend to really avoid online, it's comment sections, if you're wondering.
That's fair, but here we are.
Okay, so we're going to move into the, I don't have a song. I need to have,
Oh yeah.
Wait,
we used
hold
to
on,
have a
hold on.
FTFA transition.
there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
This is, it's been a while, guys, okay? Okay, here we go. Now we're going to move into the From the Freaking Audience section of the show. This is where you guys get to write us your questions that you think would make for interesting subjects for us to talk about on the show. You can email us at rtfm@JayzTwoCents.com with your short, concise question. If it's a paragraph, we immediately trash it. It's just too long. But you can also now go to discord.gg/JayzTwoCents, and we have...
Oh, wow, the aura really does work.
I'm muting him. We have active threads where Nick will actually be looking for the questions and stuff. So we have that way that you can now get yourself onto the show. So Nick, why don't you... Actually, I'll take it away with Alex first. The one email that came in, because last week I forgot to put the email address out there for people. He says, this is Alex. He means, hi, this is Alex.
Oh.
I just had a question with an issue with the 13th and 14th gen Intel CPUs. Would you recommend still using it to get a little more boost? I have a 13th gen i7, and it died. I had to RMA it, but it took 5 months. Oh, this was the guy that said it took 5 months.
Oh.
Says, it took 5 months. In the same time, I bought a 14700K to replace it. But even with the BIOS updates, I'm worried about my tweaks now. So just curious on your take using X2 on 13th and 14th gen now with the BIOS tweaks, and I fear failing.
You kind of answered that.
I did.
I mean, but the thing is, you don't fear failing your CPU.
I don't fear failing
Or,
it because
yeah,
I
or it
have,
failing,
I
yeah.
have, it's different. I work in this environment, therefore I have ones to replace it with.
Yeah, I don't think I could answer that either because I do overclock mine to answer the actual question.
I would say this.
But like, yeah, the fact that we can just grab one is it changes it a lot.
From the moment the 14700 was new, if he had all the BIOS updates in place, even by making adjustments through XTU, as long as he's not seeing really high temps and the voltages are under, let's say, 1.5, I wouldn't be that concerned about it.
So push it a little bit, but keep an eye on it. Basically, yeah.
Well, and he should have a 13700 backup now because he got it.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
duh. And then so in the like knock on wood, the 14.7 dies. At least this time
He
it won't
has
take 5
something.
months to get back
There's
up and
something to hold
running.
them over.
Yeah. All right, Nick, take it away.
Well, let's just
You can have $100. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
One of these days, somebody's gonna forget that this is the movie money, and they're gonna try to pay with it somewhere.
For this stack of $10,000, would you let me smack you in the face with it as hard as I can?
It's not about the money. Oh wait.
Wait,
I don't get to slap you back.
No, I could.
I'll give you $1 to smack him in the face with that.
I'll give you 100.
If this was a real 10K stack, and I said, you know those videos of like the slap competitions? If I got to just like, not with my hand, but smack you across the face with this stack as hard as I could for a 10K, would you do it?
I guess I'm down.
Yeah,
Have some self-respect, sir.
But
I would do it too. Because it probably wouldn't hurt that bad.
Yeah, would it?
I can't hear you through the stack of $10,000 of that self-respect.
I instantly just think about that. I want to make it feel like it raining on me. It's like throw the stack of money on.
It's almost like that one joke that's just like, would you slap your sibling as hard as you could for like $1 million? It's like, bitch, I'll do it for $1.
I'll do it for free.
It's not about the money at that point.
I never had a younger sibling. I was always the one getting smacked. With that said, take it away.
Sharif asked a question for RTFM show. Did you play the guitar part in the new intro?
Oh, you should. He did not, but
Oh, for this one?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I have my electric. I'm just not great at electric.
Oh.
No.
I think that
Wait, here's what it sounds like now. For me, it'd be like.
It'll be like Rock Band when you miss all the notes.
Yes. and then the booze, and then you lose fans.
You suck.
Yep. Saw that a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, this is devolving into car talk. I don't want to ask the car questions though.
We're at the end.
How many are there?
There's so
My
far.
wife's out of town. I don't have to leave right at 3:30.
Oh,
Yeah, and we're at the end of the.
it's like
Yeah.
two.
Just read one. Just read it.
All right.
He said
You should vet these first, though, before next week.
So I should probably open the thread earlier so I could vet them prior instead of just putting it.
We can
before
talk
the
about
show.
all that offline.
Anyways, yeah. So I live in SoCal. I was wondering, how do you prepare for track days, i.e., insurance, finding the right car to drive, and what to bring, and how to start racing in general?
I am the insurance.
This is how you prepare for track
Yeah.
days.
Okay.
For any of Jay's cars, yeah, they
I haven't-
consume.
I haven't tracked the
consumables.
R8 yet, mostly because I won't bring it on track with other knuckleheads, because I don't want to go through the insurance. Now, there are insurance companies like Haggerty and whatnot where you can do track day insurance, but the thing is, if you're not prepared to have either 10, 20, or 30% deductible for the value cover of your car, like let's say, okay, first of all, if a person has a $100,000 car, they're if you don't have at minimum $10,000 cash laying around to replace it if something happens, don't go. Okay, that's the bottom line. If you don't have any insurance, be prepared to potentially lose
Front
the
the whole
car
car,
outright
yeah.
if some idiot loses their brakes and you're going through a corner and they just T-bone you. It happens. We've seen it.
Yeah, anyone that's driven a K1 will
Yeah, it's just a
understand.
bigger, faster scale of
Yeah,
that.
and you don't have to worry about the carts at K1, but you do have to worry about.
Well, you
your
do.
own
I've
car.
seen people have like the cart jumped on top of someone because they
No,
hit hard
but you
enough.
don't have to well.
Oh yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
replace
you
it
don't
yourself.
have to pay for the insurance for the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess unless you're doing something really stupid. The other thing too is like the consumables is fuel, tires, brakes.
Fluids.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the car. So it really depends. Preparation out here, weather-wise, is not much to really worry about. If you go in like the middle of winter, if you go to like a desert track, it might be like really cold in the morning, which means less grip, but that's about the worst thing you're going to deal with.
It depends on the car too. Like consumables, obviously, the price of those scale exactly in line with the car.
The 370Z went 2 whole seasons on the same track pads that I had.
That's awesome.
And I think I went through 2 sets of tires.
That's why, like, me and all my car friends are always joking, like, our first race cars are gonna be like EG Civics, because it's like I don't want to have to worry about like, oh, can I afford the consumables for a track day?
My ZL1, however, it's usually about $1,500 a weekend to take that to the track.
Jeez.
Just in
Say
fuel.
thanks, Mark Dizzle,
fuel, brakes, and
for
tires.
that one.
Well, remember when the car was new, before I even put another like 300 horsepower to it, we took it to Chuckwalla and I burned up the tires that one weekend.
Immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
well,
you know.
I don't know.
more power, more money,
I
more
think I
responsibility.
run a more aggressive alignment, but my tires, depending, well, if I dailied it and took it to track, then I'd be,
yeah, but the Surf 4Gs wear fast.
yeah. But yeah, those, I did like 2 sets a year on those. And this one,
That's not bad. That doesn't sound that bad, actually.
well, one track, like second track day was Chuckwalla, and I corded the insides already
Oh wow.
Yeah.
because it was just a mad alignment.
The R8 though, however, in the group that I belong to, there's a lot of folks that do track them. They're fairly good on consumables.
Oh, like
Really?
because they don't cost as much as you'd think.
Yeah. So again, because it's a rear engine car, or excuse me, a mid engine car, there's not all that weight over the nose, which really burns up your turn in and your tires.
Right.
All wheel drive, if you have Quattro anyway, mine's Quattro. You're not like the ZL1 just spins tires for days if I'm not really good with the throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mark Dizzle found that out.
it's a lot lighter of a car. I have the carbon ceramic brakes, which even
Wait, it's lighter than your 1LE?
by like 600 pounds.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have thought the other way around. That's
No,
nuts.
my R8's
it's
about
smaller, too.
3,200.
I guess you're right. It is really small.
My R8's like 3,260 or something like that. The ZL1 without me in it is 3,884.
Dang.
With me in it, it's like 4,030.
There's like a fat American people joking there somewhere
All right, I gotta
with
ask
an
a real
American
question.
car.
When are you tracking the RS6 though?
I'm never.
Oh,
Never. Because you only get like, from, again, in the Avance group that I belong to, the people that have tracked them, you only get like 4 laps. You get like a warm-up lap, you get like 4 laps, and then it just,
Because that's like the
It
it just
heavier.
falls off.
Oh, really?
It's a 5,000-pound car.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yo, let's go. Look
You're
cool.
asking a lot of those tires.
Yeah.
I have the CCBs.
Is
They're
that actually the-
17-inch rotors, but the CCBs will be fine. But the tires, you are asking a lot of those tires to hold a 5,000-pound car.
That reminded me of like I remember seeing some Tesla people with like Model 3 performances like dude, these things rip through the tires. It's like, yeah, because your battery weighs a lot of pounds, dude. Like it's again exactly why I want my track car to be an EG Civic, because that thing weighs like 2 pounds. So,
to be honest, I've been getting a wild hair to build a track car, a dedicated track car,
like a slow car, fast car, like drive a slow car at 10 tenths and just send it.
The dumb part is like the price of those are going up
because of that very reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be rear wheel drive for me. I would probably
S2K maybe something like that.
Maybe.
Oh wait, you don't fit in. Your head's over the roll cage.
No, I can't fit in an S2K unless we cut the floor.
Or you build a roll cage higher up.
Oh my gosh, it'd be like a beluga whale forehead of an S2K.
Yeah.
It looks like a little turbo pump on the Eclipse.
It looks like an A380, like with the.
What I was gonna say though is I want to.
It's S2100.
I want to get something that's lightweight, and I could just throw like a 5.3 liter LS in there, or like basically a truck motor.
I was about to say K truck. I'm still gonna say K truck.
Or just put it in the back.
Yeah.
NAS truck.
All right, what's the next question?
A K NAS truck, dude. That would be insane.
Oh, this one kind of ties in with our interest in automobiles. Have we ever thought about vinyl wrapping a case? I've done this to my GPU, case panels, CPU cooler, etc.
Funny enough, I just edited a video in which that is irrelevant.
It's relevant.
You guys were joking about that.
No, I've only wrapped portions of a case, like the. When I did the ZL1 theme build that we gave away at CamaroCon, that had
like the front panel,
the carbon fiber and stuff on there, because I made it look like the carbon fiber hood and all that, white and black. So I've wrapped pieces of cases, but I've never done like a full like color change wrap. I have to wonder how hard it would be on some cases that are perfectly flat. But if you have a like intricate case, like I can build tiny ass.
Dude, wrap the
I can build super intricate like model ships, but I don't have the patience to deal with getting a wrap right. It's a different kind of patience.
And we've watched like all the wrap people with all your PPF on all your cars, and we're just like, every time they're working on like some insanely curved, crazy thing with like 5 different curves in it, we're just like, that looks so annoying. Like he's like heat gunning it like in all different directions, and like, it just does not look like a fun material to work with.
What about Plasti Dip? No
Plasti Dip. Oh. We've done it on my wheels, but that was a mistake after.
No, they're talking about computer.
Oh.
Well, because we didn't do enough, so when it came time to pull it off,
it just flaked instead of actually coming off.
That's when you just needed a pressure washer to just blast it all off that way.
No, I didn't get rid of the car immediately. I kind of just held on to it for a while. That was a GTI.
You should have got rid of it immediately, honestly.
It was a good learning experience.
Yeah.
It was funny. One of our friends is like starting to get into cars, and then he was like asking all of us VW guys like, like what tracks did you guys used to go through, whatever, blah, and all of our answers are like, we're VW guys, dude. Like that was just not an option. My car would never pass tech because it'd be leaking like 8 gallons of oil already. No matter
so talking about VW stuff, right? So I own 3 VW cars at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the R8, the RS6, and the RSQ8. Don't think the price point makes it lose the VW. Okay. So for instance,
we know
like that one time at 6 a.m. that I had to go rescue him with my drivable alternator because of his alternator.
I know that's the RS6 like has a generator failure. Like it's across the board on RSQ8s, Q8s, RS6s, SQ7s, Q7s. Anyway,
it's honestly disappointing.
That was literally Phil and I. We said like in before electrical issues.
I know. No, here's the thing.
But it's disappointing too, as old school VW guys, old school water cooled VW guys, we would have thought that like Jay just said, the price point and the newness of it
doesn't change. If anything, it makes it worse because there's more modules.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god.
So for instance,
I saw your VAG. I just saw the first time your VAG comment. I was just like, dude, there are like 18 of these buttons I've never seen before.
No, here's the thing. I was driving down the road the other day, and so the MMI is very annoying if a error or something comes on. It's just like beep, like a long high pitched beep. And it's just like it's designed to get your attention.
Yeah.
I'm driving along and we're coming back from a date night with my wife, and she was like, "What's that?" And I looked down.
What car is this?
The RS6.
Okay.
So I looked down at the MMI, and it was like malfunction, headlight adaptive malfunction failure. I'm like,
of course, almost.
No, here's the thing. I don't have adaptive headlights.
Oh yeah, because that's a
I have
European...
matrix lights, but the adaptive aspect of it, which is where it's supposed to have like that block off plate, like as a car goes by, is not active in my car because it's not legal in the United States.
Yeah.
I haven't activated it. I just didn't want to pay the $600 someone wants to charge me to go push one button in freaking scan tool.
Yeah, to basically convince the car that it lives in Europe.
And I can't turn that. I can't do that with VADCOM. But anyway, yeah, I was like, adaptive headlight malfunction failure. Now here's the other thing. I've also gotten random electric antenna malfunction. I do not have an electric antenna. I have a shark fin.
Yeah, what?
I get the most random errors in that car sometimes.
Literally getting errors for things it doesn't have.
EC wing.
Yeah.
Yes. The one car that is like
so VW.
the one. So between my wife's RSQ8, like one day she kept telling me, she's like, I keep getting central lock malfunction. I'm like, oh, we'll have to take it to Ralph over at Audi. And then turns out that they had to completely replace the door latch.
Oh.
Because she has the soft close doors.
Oh. Jeez.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's just sell our shit and get like freaking Chevy Cruises. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just some.
That's so sad to hear, but also like me and Nick don't blame you at all.
I know this is very first worldly sounding, but I wanted to do something nice for my wife when I got her that car, and it's just now I'm like, did I buy her a ticking time bomb?
Yeah, that sucks. That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
And
the most reliable Audi or VW I have is the R8. No, it is the R8. You know why? Because it doesn't have any of that crap.
Oh yeah, it's not. It doesn't have any of the luxury stuff. It's just
no. It has laser lights, but they're not. They're not like the Matrix adaptive lights. It doesn't have. It doesn't have the like adaptive cruise control. It doesn't have lane keep assist. It doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
It has the V10 that I added a few hundred horsepower to, and good suspension and a steering wheel and pedals. That's all I need, and that's what it is.
And that's what makes the coil packs worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
What else you got in there?
Yeah, it's like I still remember when for Nick's generation GTI they moved the you know the button that the door closes on to tell the car that the door's closed, like the little switch. They moved that switch internal to the lock mechanism, the latch mechanism. And everyone was getting pissed because they got also less reliable. Yeah. So people's alarms were just going off because the car thought the door was open randomly.
It's better than my Fit. Like anyone who breathed on the car, the Viper alarm would just go off.
Because your Fit had a Viper.
You can adjust that though. That's just that's a separate module that has a vibration sensor in it that gets mounted probably to like the steering column or something metal.
He probably
and it's just a set screw.
That's probably mounted to my exhaust.
He probably adjusted it and then his like rear suspension shook it loose again.
All right. Go to the next question, sir.
Have you guys tried out any new VR games lately, or have
VR? Jeez.
Or are there games that you go to when you play VR?
Let me give you an idea of how far behind I'm on VR. Every time my kids go, "Can I play the VR?" I'm like, "Go ahead." And then like 3 minutes later, they're back in the computer room. I'm like, "You don't want to play VR?" They're like, "No, I needed updates."
Yeah.
So it's like
no, I know. My Quest Pro was like, I need an update to V74. I'm like, what is it on right now? 67. I was like,
wow,
that's a lot of updates. But I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Batman game. So if you guys are interested about beating the shit out of some people,
the VR Batman game,
yeah, you get to be Batman. Like people like yeah. I mean, a lot of the footage I've been seeing from the game is just hilarious because it's just a beat 'em up, but in VR, which is obviously more fun because stress relief.
It's like that third person Arkham Asylum game, but in first person. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that mini golf. It's just been fun.
Somebody commented that 4-liter, 650 horsepower squeezed in mom car, American AF. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I asked my wife, I'm like, have you ever like floored the RSQ8? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, have you ever like floored it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you know at the bottom of the pedal there's another button, right?
She's like, the kick down button.
No, she's like, yeah. I'm like, so you've pushed it to where that button clicks. She's like, yeah, at the bottom of the pedal. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so have you ever floored it? She's like, maybe. And I'm like, was it fun? And she's like, yeah, it's fast. I'm like, so when did you floor it? She's like, I'm getting around assholes on the highway. She's like, I'm like,
it's literally a push to pass.
It is no. It's the European curse. Yeah. When you put an American in a European car, you automatically drive like a dick. Yeah. It's like BMWs don't know how to park, right? Or use their blinkers. The best meme I ever saw about Audi was like it shows it's like a first person view of like this really jacked dude's like nasty ass veiny arm over the top. Every engine light and warning light is on, and it says every Audi owner with 1,000 horsepower after downloading a tune.
That translates to the BMW ones. Like BMW owners after they buy a downpipe and get an
Oh, yeah.
email tune.
Dude, I saw a Beamer using its turn signal, but it was the wrong turn signal. And I was like, I like how it's
The
the
irony.
first time I've ever seen a Beamer use its turn signal, and it was like tick 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 tick,
Mac-
and it like cut off a person.
Mac
to the
Tig One
right.
in chat asking if my wife's RSQA has ceramic or steel. They're steel because my wife's car is a 2024, and during COVID they stopped doing steel brake options on anything other than the R8s and the.
You mean ceramic? They
They
ceramic.
stopped doing ceramic on anything other than the R8 and the RS e-tron. So
Those e-trons are
now
pretty
you
sick.
can order. They have a new RSQ8 Performance that's now apparently the fastest SUV ever in the Nürburgring, including beating the Urus.
That's such like a Guinness World Record of records. Like
Yeah.
just
It's
some
such a
random
niche.
like
It's
like
but it's
balance 13 hot dogs on their head or whatever.
but it's the fastest SUV ever in the Nürburgring. That one can be ordered with ceramic.
Oh.
Has the same alternator that's failing though in
I mean,
everyone else's
if you're
cars.
going-
And
if
the
you're going
suspension
as
for
fa-
Nürburgring.
if you're going faster than every other SUV on the Nürburgring, I would hope you have ceramics.
Not gonna lie, I've been debating actually getting my wife out of the RSQ8 and getting her into maybe like an X7, so on the Beamer side, because she wants the third row again. She misses it, and I'm like, I don't trust the car still because it has the same alternator problem timer that's ticking right now.
I mean, we might as well continue the European car tour and then go to Beamer now and see what's up.
I know,
because we
but
did the Mercedes already, and that was kind of whatever,
well, again, the Mercedes had
cool.
all kinds of problems. Had all kinds of problems.
which was surprising. as
48
well.
48 volt problems. Every single one of these cars we're having problems with are 48 volt problems. So it's like 48 volt isn't fleshed out enough really to be good.
It's so ironic that my insight is 12 volts.
Would you rather have 48 volt problems or new hybrid engine problems?
They're the same.
No, I meant like Toyota hybrid engine
Oh.
problems.
Or how about
Wait,
even
that's
just
ironic,
how about
considering of the Prius.
how about just Tundra's V6?
Yeah, the V6
But that's a. Is that a hybrid?
Yeah,
Is it a
They're not-
mild
they're not-
hybrid?
they're
or
not all
mild
of them
hybrids.
are hybrids, but
I
some
was
of
saying
them
they're not all
aren't, yeah.
hybrid.
But is
But
it like a 48 volt mild hybrid, or is it like an actual like high voltage hybrid, like my
Okay,
inside?
you
might be.
asked me that. However, I'm driving around a Chevy truck with a 6.2 liter in it that is guaranteed to have lifter failures. It is guaranteed to that because they're collapsible lifters.
It's the Chevy.
So the way
Oh.
it's the Chevy 14900K.
okay, listen. So the way
It's guaranteed.
hold on, let me talk.
failure.
The way that this works with this engine is back in the like in my ZL1, and it's been deleted. They had a cam phaser.
Mm.
So basically, they could phase the cam a certain way to either make it more efficient, or when you're like flooring the throttle,
Set phasers to fail.
that never failed. Or you could advance it or retard it to get more power and more efficiency, right?
Okay.
So on the newer engines, what they started doing is they use collapsible lifters, where under pressure they can pump up the lifter to have bigger lift and duration, or collapse them so that under normal driving conditions the lifters aren't moving so much. That's why the efficiency mode in my truck sounds gross
Yeah.
with the dual exhaust. That started
Okay.
with the dual exhaust because I no longer have a valve that closes to make it sound. So you've heard it. It goes broom.
It's like, what is
The
this?
way you fix that is I just put it in tow mode every time I turn on the car.
Oh, that's why it's in tow mode.
Turning on
funny.
tow mode deletes that mode. Like it turns it off.
I did an IKEA run. I was like, why is this in tow mode? And I just put it back to normal.
Yeah, and then it starts up. So anyway, what's been unfortunately happening with the 6.2 liters on the Chevys and the Denali's and the trucks and whatnot is those collapsed lifters are failing.
That's
So
what
what's happening
yeah.
is they're failing in such a way that it's actually bending the push rods.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, so it's not a good. I bought that truck because I know I looked at the Toyota Tundra. I was like, I don't want their engine problems, so I'll look at an American engine problem, right? So anyway, I haven't even put an air filter in that truck because I'm like, I am not messing with this warranty.
Not
You're
touching
just
anything.
You're just like
I haven't even done an
don't
air
even
filter.
know.
It is still like the stock
That's
Fram or whatever the
hilarious.
hell comes from the factory.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, Honda in the 80s is just like, that's why we use the separate cam lobe for VTEC because we just make it lift and timing differently by just putting a new cam.
You know who I blame? The EPA.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, really
That
though.
sounds, that
Yeah.
sounds just as bad as like Nissan a couple years when they came out with that variable compression
Yeah.
motor.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And now they're just I mean, I think recently they've been failing even more, but that was a huge problem because it changes the position, but the motor that changes it got stuck.
Does anyone here, can anyone here think of a new car in the last, like, let's say
That
10
doesn't
years
have problems.
that doesn't have problems?
Toyota
Can-
Corolla
That's a joke, right?
hasn't had problems.
What, the GRC?
No Corolla,
Oh.
like the sedan.
Oh, just the regular ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, a car people want.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
just kidding. I actually wouldn't.
You could have said Civic, and that would have made more sense than Corolla.
I actually wouldn't mind having it. I actually wouldn't mind having a Corolla because, like I told Phil the other day, I was like, you drove gas guzzlers when you go,
Yeah.
I filled it up for only 75 today.
Remember that one time when you were like, "Oh, I got to top off my truck," and his top off was more than my entire fuel tank in my Insight.
Yeah.
And I was cracking up. I was like, "Wait, that price is more than I pay at a fill up."
The engine's pretty broken in now on that truck. I mean, it's got like 6,000 miles on it, but like when the truck was new, dude, hypermiling, I could not get more than like 13 miles to the
because
gallon.
it was just such a tight,
Yeah.
internal.
Now I get on the highway if I'm just cruising and I let it go into the nasty burbly mode, and I'm just cruising around. I can get 19 to 21 now in the truck.
I was reading Honda's white paper on my Insights engine and like all the crazy efficiency stuff that they did to it to make it like just easier to free spin and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm gonna stop reading before I start getting worried about problems about this engine. Because this is awesome. This is cool technology, but it also sounds scary.
See, I need to look into what the problems on the X7 platform are because I know what I want to get the wife. I would specifically want to get her. They don't have an M. They don't make an X7M.
It's a BMW.
It's gonna have plenty of problems.
Yeah,
but
you better get the cardboard for your driveway, bro.
It's no, they have under trays.
You better get the cardboard regardless.
Yeah.
The under tray might have an issue.
So the X7M has the M, or not M, but the X7 has the M60i, which is I think the 550 horse twin turbo V8, 4.4 liter V8 or whatever it is. Which, yeah, I'm sick of cars.
It's like, I think we just
I
passed.
swear, the more expensive the cars get, the bigger the problems are.
The worse the features.
Well, because the more complicated, the more features.
I know how first worldy this sounds, but here's the thing. Let's put this in computer perspective. Let's just say you've always had bottom tier computer. You make it do. You see all your friends that have like nice computers and stuff, and you finally are like, you know what? I saved myself $5,000. I built the most overkill computer I could need. It's got a 4090. I've got a 4K monitor. I've got this and that. And then you got a 13th gen Intel CPU that exploded on you, right? That kind of gives you a dirty taste for it.
Yeah,
Especially
the problem is I just keep putting the shit in my mouth and then complaining about the taste when it comes to these damn cars.
I think we've just, in general...
I think I'll fall out of the honeymoon phase with the Rev when that happens.
No, every time you fall out of honeymoon phase, you go off dirt roading and then you're happy again.
No, but on the car,
I think it would have to strand him on the dirt road for him to like.
Are you
fall
still
out of
honeymoon
it.
phase with that?
It's still a spaceship to me. I'm stoked every time I jump in the car. It's like, okay, creature comforts.
Yeah,
You know?
You should have seen how disappointed he was when he didn't get to drive the RS6 back because we went to pick up my ZL1. Turns out it blew up another spark plug, so I brought it right back to Mike. And then he was following me home on the RS6, and suddenly he's like, "Why are we getting off the freeway?" Because I'm like, "Because it's going like it's not supposed to, right?"
Yeah.
No, it blew up another spark plug after I picked it up. We don't know why it's killing spark plugs, but anyway. We bring it back, and he was like, "Oh," because he was all excited.
Yeah.
To drive it back.
Thanks for breaking my user account, by the way, on that trip. It still won't log in.
Sorry.
He didn't know that by
Audi problem.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing.
How do you break a user account on a car?
Well-
Said, are you Jason or are you Guess? I'm a Guess.
Oh, see, that's your problem.
No, here's the problem. When he did that, for whatever reason, it logged me out of my account.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. All of my settings, seat position, mirror position,
Radio,
all of my dash settings, because very customizable, all of that stuff is tied into my account. Now, here's the reason why they do that is because my wife and I both have Audis. So when I get into the car, I can literally have all my settings on my phone.
Right.
And it will literally sync to the car, and it will go to the right seat position everywhere I left it the last time I drove.
Yeah.
So every time I try and log in, after Nick drove the car and said guest and it logged me out, it pops up and says log in. So then I click the log in button, and then it goes activating the system forever. It never stops doing it.
Like as if it's a new car or something?
No. Because I have to put in my username and my password for it to download my settings from the cloud.
Right. And then it just is activating after that.
It just says that it won't even get me to the page where I can log in. To fix that, I have to have Audi reset the module, which is going to reset all my settings in the car.
I was like, I bet you what they would actually do is just completely replace the whole MMI module, like the whole.
No, they won't. Not with how much that thing costs.
So does it?
No. What I'm saying is, I bet you that's the actual fix under warranty is replace the
just
part.
replace the part. Does it still start up to the classical music I left it on?
No, because it now starts up with whatever I left it on because I log in as guest now too.
Oh, okay.
So now you're a guest in your own.
Yes, I am a guest
you're
in my
just
own car.
Your own, like $80,000 Audi.
Dang, dude.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
That's rough.
Someone said pepcac. Actually, no, it's pepcaw. Problem exists between keyboard and wheel.
Caw?
Or key and wheel. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the column. That's
Chair
what
and wheel. That's what the C is. Oh, that's funny.
Are there any more questions in there?
They're all tech questions. They're out of my wheelhouse. Do you want to answer?
So ask them.
Here.
No, you read it.
You could pick one.
You read.
There's so many. These are like questions that should have been in the community help forum. So I'm kind of begrudgingly reading them because
Just pick one as an example so we can pick on it, and then people will know what not to ask for the RTM show question section.
RTM.
The RTFM.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go buy a 7900 XT. Any recommendations about timing? Singles Day, Black Friday, or other?
Too late.
Singles? What's Singles Day?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it like
Do
the opposite
singles
of-
get discounts?
Is that the opposite of Valentine's Day? Is that a thing?
I don't know, but if singles get discounts, I'm sending one of y'all to buy me stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're married. You pay full price.
Yep.
Dang.
You have Disney Plus. You can't. You have to pay full price.
You have Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And you
that's
can't sue
basically
us.
it then.
All right. Well, that was. Wait,
That's the.
is that it? Oh yeah, there it is.
Did you break it?
No, it's coming in. Do you hear it? Do you hear the music?
Slow rap.
Did you push yes?
He was supposed to. Oh no! He locked in his gas
I
on the
pushed yes.
roadcaster. We're so screwed.
All right. Well, thanks for this week's rough show. Holy crap, this one was bad.
Next
forgot to-
time will probably be better.
You forgot to plug merchandise into.
Oh yeah,
Unplugged.
JayzTwoCents.com. Sorry. Okay, bye.
It's amazing.
So bad.